Audie Murphy was born on June 20, 1925, in Kingston, Texas, the seventh of 12 children in a struggling sharecropping family. Orphaned at 16 when his mother passed away, and with his father having abandoned the family years earlier, he left school with only a fifth-grade education to care for his younger siblings. Despite standing just 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighing barely over 110 pounds, Murphy enlisted in the United States Army in 1942, after being rejected by the Navy and Marine Corps for being too small. Over the course of World War II, he became the most decorated American soldier of the conflict, earning the Medal of Honor at the age of 19, alongside 33 awards and decorations from the United States and Allied nations, including the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, the Bronze Star, and 3 Purple Hearts. After the war, he returned home a national hero, struggled with the invisible wounds of combat, and found success in Hollywood, starring in over 40 films, most notably To Hell and Back, a retelling of his own wartime experiences. But what truly happened on the day Audie Murphy died, and why has the mystery haunted history for decades? Audie Murphy's early life was defined by hardship, responsibility, and resilience. Born on June 20, 1925, in Kingston, Texas, he was the 7th of 12 children in a poor sharecropping family struggling to survive the Great Depression. His parents, Emmett and Josie Bell Murphy, worked tirelessly in the fields, yet the family barely managed to make ends meet. When Murphy was still a young boy, his father abandoned the family, leaving his mother to care for the 12 children alone. The burden of survival fell heavily on young Audie. When his mother died in 1941, he was just 16 years old, thrust into a position where he had to provide for his siblings, while navigating a world that offered little support for children in such circumstances. With only a 5th-grade education, Murphy took on a series of odd jobs, picking cotton, selling vegetables, and working wherever he could, to ensure that his brothers and sisters would not go hungry. These years instilled in him a deep sense of responsibility, perseverance, and a toughness that would later define him on the battlefield. In 1942, at the age of 17, Murphy attempted to join the United States Navy and the Marine Corps, only to be rejected for being underweight and too small. Standing 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighing just over 110 pounds, he seemed an unlikely candidate for military distinction. Yet, his determination was unshakable, and he eventually enlisted in the United States Army, determined to serve his country. Once in uniform, Murphy's courage, tactical intelligence, and leadership became immediately apparent. He trained relentlessly, learning every skill necessary to survive the chaos of combat, and quickly earned the respect of his fellow soldiers. Murphy's wartime service spanned multiple theaters of World War II, including North Africa, Italy, France, and Germany. In each campaign, he demonstrated an extraordinary combination of bravery and humility, often placing himself in harm's way to protect the soldiers under his command. On January 26, 1945, near Holzere, France, he faced a defining moment. Despite being wounded and outgunned, he single-handedly held off an entire German company for over an hour. Climbing onto a burning tank destroyer, he manned its .50 caliber machine gun, mowing down enemy forces while simultaneously coordinating artillery strikes. This act of valor earned him the Medal of Honor at just 19 years old, the highest recognition of bravery in the United States military. By the end of World War II, Murphy had received every combat award for valor available at the time, including the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, the Bronze Star, 3 Purple Hearts, and 33 awards in total from both the United States and Allied nations, making him the most decorated American soldier of the conflict. Beyond the medals and accolades, however, his service reflected a profound sense of duty, courage, under unimaginable pressure, and loyalty to those he fought alongside. These experiences left indelible marks on Murphy, shaping not only the man who would become a national hero, but also the human being who would carry the invisible wounds of war for the rest of his life. Even as he returned home celebrated and revered, the emotional and psychological weight of what he endured never left him. The responsibility, fear, and loss he experienced in combat remained quietly with him, creating a depth of character that would later define his post-war years. Audie Murphy was more than a soldier. He was a young man whose early life of adversity prepared him for the unimaginable challenges of battle, and whose courage in the face of danger became legendary. After the guns fell silent, and the war ended, Audie Murphy returned home in 1945 as a national hero. The world celebrated his courage, his name on the lips of Americans everywhere, yet the applause could not quiet the battles he carried inside. Murphy suffered from what was then called battle fatigue, now recognized as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, the invisible scars of a war that had demanded everything from him. Nightmares, anxiety, and moments of deep despair were constant companions. Despite this, he chose to use his voice and his fame to advocate for veterans, speaking openly about the emotional toll of combat and the need for mental health support, becoming one of the first public figures to do so. Murphy transitioned into Hollywood with the same determination that had defined his military service. His debut into the film world was a natural extension of the story he had already lived. He starred in over 40 films, most notably To Hell and Back, released in 1955, an adaptation of his own memoir. In this film, Murphy played himself, recreating the harrowing experiences he endured on the battlefields of Europe. The movie was a critical and commercial success, resonating deeply with audiences who saw not just a war hero but a man grappling with his own humanity, his courage, and the weight of his experiences. While he became best known for westerns and war dramas, Murphy's approach to acting was grounded in humility. He did not see himself as a movie star but as a storyteller, someone bringing truth to the screen. Over the years, he worked with directors and writers who recognized his depth, including Bud Boddicker, Claire Huffer, and Willard and Mary Willingham. Films such as Night Passage, The Wild and the Innocent, Cast a Long Shadow, No Name on the Bullet, 7 Ways from Sundown, Whispering Smith, Bullet for a Bad Man, Arizona Raiders, Gunpoint, 40 Guns to Apache Pass, and Trunk to Cairo, showcased his range. From the rugged intensity of Western heroes to the nuanced vulnerability of men caught in moral and physical danger. He even co-produced projects, quietly shaping the narratives he appeared in and demonstrating a creative influence beyond acting. Murphy's presence extended beyond the silver screen. In 1960, he appeared in television series such as Startime and lent his persona to the United States Army's The Big Picture program. For 3 episodes, he not only appeared on camera but served as a familiar and trusted face for audiences, traveling to military installations in Germany, Italy, Turkey, and New Mexico. His contributions were formally recognized when he was awarded the Outstanding Civilian Service Medal in 1960, a testament to his dedication to both the military and the public he had served. Despite the glitz and acclaim of Hollywood, Murphy remained a man deeply aware of the fragility of life, shaped by the traumas of his past. He carried with him the quiet weight of memory, the constant echo of comrades lost, and the knowledge that fame could not erase the shadows left by war. He also pursued other creative outlets, including songwriting, writing several country and western songs recorded by artists such as Dean Martin and Charlie Pride. These endeavors, though less visible than his films, revealed another dimension of his sensitivity and intellect, a man expressing himself in ways that were intimate, personal, and often reflective of his inner battles. Audie Murphy's post-war life and Hollywood career were intertwined, both marked by a quiet heroism. On one hand, he was the celebrated soldier, the man whose bravery had inspired a nation. On the other, he was a human being negotiating trauma, public scrutiny, and personal ambition. His achievements in film, television, and music were not merely career milestones, but extensions of a life defined by courage, responsibility, and the relentless pursuit of purpose. He transformed the accolades of war into art, translating the human cost of bravery into performances that were raw, compelling, and enduring, leaving a legacy that would continue to shape how Americans understood heroism, vulnerability, and the resilience of the human spirit. Audie Murphy's life beyond the battlefield and the silver screen was marked by both joy and the quiet struggles of a man shaped by extraordinary experiences. In 1949, he married actress Wanda Hendricks. Wanda was an established Hollywood figure, having appeared in films throughout the 1940s and early 1950s, and their marriage attracted public attention due to Murphy's rising fame as a war hero and Wanda's career in entertainment. Despite the glamour that surrounded them, the marriage faced significant challenges. Murphy's ongoing struggles with post-traumatic stress disorder, the pressures of Hollywood, and the demands of public life weighed heavily on their relationship. After 2 years, they divorced in 1951, closing a chapter that had been both a romantic endeavor and a highly visible public union. Remarkably, just 4 days after his divorce was finalized, Murphy remarried, choosing Pamela Opale Lee Archer, a former airline stewardess. Pamela's calm, grounded presence provided Murphy with a stabilizing force that had been absent in his earlier adult life. Their relationship developed quickly, reflecting a desire for stability, family, and personal grounding. With Pamela, Murphy built a home life far removed from the relentless scrutiny of fame and the lingering shadows of war. Together, they had 2 sons, Terry Michael Murphy, born in 1952, and James Shannon Murphy, born a few years later. Both children grew up with the legacy of their father's extraordinary life quietly present in their everyday world, aware of his accomplishments, while experiencing the warmth of a family home that balanced public life and private intimacy. Pamela's role in Murphy's life extended beyond that of a supportive spouse. She became his confidant, helping him navigate the ongoing physical pain from war injuries, the emotional strain from past traumas, and the complex pressures of public expectation. She provided a sense of normalcy that Murphy had not known in his early years or during the fleeting stability of his first marriage. Their home became a sanctuary, a place where he could be father and husband, not hero or celebrity. This environment allowed Murphy to embrace family life with intention and care, focusing on his children and cultivating relationships grounded in love and consistency. The bond between Audie and his sons was one of quiet admiration and guidance. Terry Michael Murphy, following in his father's footsteps, pursued a career in the entertainment industry, carrying forward a connection to Hollywood shaped by Audie's influence and example. James Shannon Murphy, their younger son, was raised with a deep awareness of his father's life, learning from both his triumphs and the challenges he faced. Audie's parenting reflected the values instilled in him from childhood: responsibility, perseverance, and devotion to family. He shared with his sons not only the stories of his public life, but also the lessons learned from adversity, creating a bridge between his extraordinary experiences and the ordinary, intimate moments of daily life. For Murphy, family became the cornerstone of his later years. Amid chronic pain, lingering trauma, and the demands of professional commitments, the stability provided by Pamela and their children offered a reprieve from the turbulence that had defined much of his earlier life. Their presence allowed him moments of quiet reflection and the opportunity to experience the simple joys that had been elusive during his youth and wartime service. In these private spaces, Murphy's humanity was evident, a man who had faced the extremes of bravery and hardship yet sought meaning, connection, and care within his own household. Audie Murphy's personal life, though quieter than his celebrated military and cinematic achievements, reveals the depth of his character. His devotion to Pamela, his commitment to his children, and his ability to find stability after years of adversity reflect a resilience and emotional intelligence that complemented the courage he had shown in war. In the intimate details of marriage and parenthood, Murphy's life was shaped by love, responsibility, and the human need for connection, offering a portrait of a hero who, beyond medals and acclaim, cherished the family that anchored him in a complex and demanding world. Audie Murphy's life, marked by extraordinary courage and resilience, came to a sudden and tragic end on May 28, 1971. He was 45 years old. On that day, Murphy was traveling in a small twin-engine Aero Commander private plane near Brush Mountain in Virginia. The aircraft encountered poor weather conditions while flying low over the mountainous terrain. The official reports attributed the crash to pilot error and reduced visibility, describing it as an unfortunate accident that abruptly ended the life of one of America's most decorated soldiers. The immediate aftermath left a nation mourning, the hero whose valor had been celebrated across continents gone in an instant, his legacy seemingly complete yet abruptly interrupted by tragedy. For decades, the details of the crash remained a source of unease. Questions lingered about the circumstances surrounding the flight, particularly why the plane had flown so low over dangerous terrain, and why certain wreckage was missing from the crash site. Family members, friends, and historians all mourned, yet the official explanation provided only a limited understanding. In the absence of modern investigative tools, the crash remained a somber footnote in the life of a man who had faced peril with unparalleled bravery. Despite these uncertainties, Murphy's family honored his memory quietly, remembering him not for the crash that ended his life, but for the decades of service, heroism, and artistry he had given to the world. Recent investigative efforts have brought new information to light, shedding further clarity on the circumstances surrounding his death. Advances in forensic technology and access to previously restricted government documents have allowed a thorough re-evaluation of the crash site. Modern analysis of the wreckage, combined with detailed examination of flight data and weather reports, has revealed that critical components of the aircraft were compromised. Wires were found to have been cut or rerouted, indicating deliberate tampering. These findings, confirmed through multiple forensic reviews, offer factual evidence of mechanical interference that was not recognized in the original investigation. Independent investigators also collected testimonies from retired officials and individuals who had direct knowledge of the events leading up to the flight. These interviews documented that Murphy had been under observation in the months preceding the crash. While the reasons for this surveillance remain a matter of record, the interviews confirm that he was monitored due to his public prominence and wartime background, providing a factual context to the new findings regarding the aircraft. Together, these details establish a clear sequence of events, showing that the crash was not solely a product of natural conditions or pilot misjudgment, but involved elements of mechanical compromise. The revelations surrounding the crash have profoundly affected Murphy's family, who had long struggled with the sudden and unexplained loss of their father and husband. The confirmation that the aircraft's controls were tampered with, and that he was under observation adds a layer of complexity to their grief, highlighting the challenges faced by public figures in maintaining safety and security. The combination of technical evidence and first-hand accounts from credible sources provides a factual framework for understanding the final moments of Murphy's life, offering clarity that had been absent for over 4 decades. Audie Murphy's death, once framed as a tragic accident, now stands documented as a deeply troubling chapter in the life of a man who had devoted himself to service, family, and country. The evidence, the testimonies, and the forensic analyses collectively form a factual narrative of his final moments, confirming that the circumstances of the crash were far from ordinary. While the full motivations behind the events may remain under further review, the findings underscore the vulnerability of even the most celebrated and courageous individuals. Murphy's life, defined by heroism and dedication, concludes with the stark reality that his final journey was marred by peril, a sobering reminder of the challenges faced by those who carry extraordinary public and private responsibilities. Audie Murphy's life was a story of extraordinary courage, profound resilience, and the quiet strength of a man shaped by hardship and duty. From the fields of Kingston, Texas, to the battlefields of Europe, he embodied bravery in the face of overwhelming odds, earning the Medal of Honor at the age of 19 and becoming the most decorated American soldier of World War II. His post-war years reflected the same determination, as he navigated the challenges of Hollywood, shared his experiences in films and television, and raised a family with Pamela Opal Lee Archer, finding in marriage and fatherhood a sanctuary from the turbulence of fame and trauma. Yet, even as he built a life of achievement and love, the circumstances of his death on May 28, 1971, cast a long shadow. Recent investigations reveal that his plane crash was not merely an accident, but involved tampering with the aircraft and close observation in the months before, providing a factual account that transforms our understanding of his final moments. Audie Murphy's legacy endures not only in medals and films, but in the enduring truth of a man who faced danger and injustice with courage, leaving a life that remains as compelling as it is poignant. For more emotional stories, check out this video.